With all this uncertainty surrounding just about everything with e-cigarettes, the health benefits, are they actually something that could be positive for you, or are they just another vice to add to your repertoire of cigarettes, booze, or whatever it is? With the advertising risks of potentially attracting a new market that never would have been introduced to nicotine, with all these uncertainties around it, how are these products being regulated in terms of marketing?
They're not really being regulated in terms of marketing yet. There is talk about regulating them. There's talk about banning them from television, the way the traditional cigarette advertising has been banned for 40-something years now. But there hasn't been any widespread regulation of marketing. I don't have any doubt that there will be regulation, there will be advertising guidelines for e-cigarettes. The question is, what kind will there be? Will they be the same as the ones on tobacco companies? Or will they be different? I think that's one of the things that the FDA is going to have to look at. Do they want to jump in, and how do they classify it? They've been classifying it initially as a tobacco product, but there's no tobacco there. There's nicotine, there's no tobacco.
It's a nicotine
they say,
product.
Nicotine is, a byproduct of tobacco, so it's a tobacco product, but other people say, well, it's really a medical device. If you're going to talk about it in terms of this is a way to exit smoking, this is a way to help you ease out.
Like a nicotine patch or chewing gum or something
Exactly.
like that.
Then it should be more classified in that category. So there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of uncertainty, there are a lot of decisions still to be made that haven't been made. And so what that does is it creates a certain freedom for the e-cigarette manufacturers in terms of there aren't really that many restrictions, but there's also a fear that they're going to trigger a kind of reaction that's going to be more restrictive than otherwise might be. So they're trying to sort of thread the needle in terms of going out there, expanding their market, trying to promote their brand without triggering any kind of draconian legislation.
A knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly. So that all of a sudden lawmakers feel like we have to really crack down on this, as opposed to let's start regulating this in a sort of a moderate, kind of measured way, and go from there. So it is a sort of a tricky marketing environment that the tobacco companies are operating in. On the other hand, the tobacco companies are probably the most brilliant marketers in the history of American marketing, because they have had so many restrictions and they have had to come up with so many ways to live within these restrictions and still try to maintain their business and maintain their market share, which they have. So, they are sort of they have this sort of artistic sense of where to take marketing in terms of the environment they're dealing with. Back in the 70s, Philip Morris was one of the strongest proponents of the television ban against cigarette advertising, because what it did was it froze the market for them. They were the leader with Marlboros. It was going to be so hard for Winston to catch up without television as a tool. And so it was in their interest in the end to have this ban on television advertising, because for one thing, it saved them a fortune. For another thing, it essentially cemented them as the leader and made it much harder for their competitors to catch up in terms of market share. So you may have the same kind of situation now where the major tobacco companies say, you know what, if we can go out there and capture 70% of the market, and we can sort of guarantee that we're going to keep that 70% of the market, that nobody else is going to get it, then they're going to be interested in regulation that fosters that kind of an outcome. So so all of those things become factors. There's a lot of moving parts in terms of what's going to happen with e-cigarettes going down the road, and not all of them are the sort of the obvious ones that the public latches onto.